Like a boss.
All right, so today I'm going to be showing you guys 21 ways to stand out from other women. I get asked that question about how to stand out, or my friend always gets all of the attention, all that sort of stuff, and that's something that guys also struggle with. You see, like they'll go out at night and only one friend will get people's attention. You see, so today I'm gonna show you how to reverse the tables and how to put things in your favor, so that you're the one that's getting the attention and you're the one that's standing out. And I'm going to be going about it from different fronts. So it's not just going to be superficially, but also from different areas, so that you guys could have a broader perspective of how to stand out, as opposed as to having one superficial way of standing out, which would inevitably make you lose, because inevitably you're gonna lose your looks. You see what I'm saying? So let's get started. All right. So the first thing is that you want to stand out by arousing from all different fronts. That's the first thing. Okay. Now, arousal doesn't just mean doesn't just mean sexually. Arousing means verbally arousing, mentally and physically. Arousal is a form of pain because it seeks relief. You see, so physical arousal, mental arousal, psychological arousal is more of a desire, creating a desire through your words, verbally, physically, and through your actions. All right. So also about standing out, realize the setting. Okay, because setting is important. All right, just like any animal, and a predator in the sea cannot be a predator on the land. It's powerful, but only powerful under the right settings. You see, so you got to realize where you are. Like if you're in a club setting, it's more superficial. You see what I'm saying? So if you don't meet those standards, then it's gonna be a little bit harder to thrive there, and that's not being smart, because you're putting yourself in a situation where you're already losing. So you want to be proactive about it, right? That's why I'm not on online dating that much, because I'm not that good at it. All right. Another thing is be realistic. Youth is very hard to beat, and you could definitely make up with it with using psychology. You see, so you got to be realistic. So you can't really depend on what you have right now, which is your physical aspect to get the guys. You got to focus more on the psychological aspect. Okay, and that's what we're going to be focusing on. All right, so let's get started. The first one is say the opposite. I like this one. All right, say the opposite. For example, this is like one of the easiest ways to stand out from people, because most people, when they talk to someone, they're in their social roles. For example, hi, how are you? What do most people say? Good. You see, people expect for you to say good. There's certain answers that people expect, right? So saying the opposite is breaking the mold. For example, how are you? Doing horrible. I'm doing good. How are you doing? Like doing the opposite. For example, how was your day? Catastrophic. like it's for example, if you go into a IHOP and say, how can I help you today? There's nothing, I can't be helped. Okay, that really sucks. But nevertheless, though, saying the opposite catches people off guard. You see, so if you're growing and you want to, in a way, stand out. If he tells you, well, I don't know, like for example, what's your name? You tell him, oh, my name is Tyrone. Give him a guy name. I'm like, what? The reason why that's gonna work, because it is gonna work, is because it's unexpected. You see, it's the you wouldn't expect you. I wouldn't expect you saying that, and that kind of stands out. Okay. Number two, quick answers and redirect. So another way to stand out is make the person feel like they know you, while not knowing a lot about you. So knowing someone is not about the things you know about them. It's about how they make you feel. You see, so most people feel good when they talk about themselves. So a way for you to do this is to minimize the amount of things that you talk about yourself, and letting them talk more about themselves. What's going to happen is that when people talk about themselves, they feel good. All right, and as a result, they're going to equate that good feeling with the impression that you left them. You see what I'm saying? So they're going to say, wow, that was a good interaction, but they're not going to be able to pinpoint as to why they liked you. You see, so that as a result, there's going to be emotion, but no rational reason why there's emotion. So as a result, the mind fills in the gap and creates a mystery. So in their mind, you're gonna stand out as a mystery. Like, she was interesting, she was different, she made me feel good, and I don't know why. It must have been a vibe, an aura, or it must have been meant to be. It doesn't matter. You see, so that's what that's gonna do, like withholding the information about you. Number three, And this is okay. I may leave this one for later. I may leave this one for later. I don't know about this one. Um, number three. Stop seeking feedback. This is very important, and it equates to the spiritual aspect and how to stand out. When we seek feedback, our attention is on the environment, whether or not we meet its standards and thus our self-esteem. You see, we then decide whether we can or cannot feel confident. You're then able to act within that range. For example, this is what I mean by this. Is that when you seek feedback, the reason you're seeking feedback is because you're kind of like saying, okay, how should I act? Is this the appropriate way of acting? You see? And so as a result, you're looking for feedback that says, hey, look, you could relax. Hey, look, you could act confident. You see? We're looking for those feedbacks. And so when you don't find those feedback, what happens? You contract. You know, you kind of say, you know what, I don't know what to do, so let me just go inside my head. You see? And that's a way of self-preservation. But the problem is that inhibits you. You know, that inhibits your personality. So what you have to do then is literally begin to become aware when you look for feedback. Any action that arises from that motivation, from that intention of seeking feedback, when you observe it and you see it as it arises, you disidentify from it. And those unconscious behavior become conscious. You see? And so as a result, you're going to be able to actually consciously change your behavior, consciously change your reaction by observing it. But the first thing is observing yourself seeking a reaction, saying things in the hopes that the guy may like you. You see? And so what's going to happen is that your actions then is not going to come from a place of wanting validation. It's going to come from within. It's going to be more of an expression of yourself. You see? So that's how you do it. All right. So another thing about it is that when you get the feedback, like when people like you, you sort of relax. You see, and when you relax, you become more confident. Now, the reason why you're becoming confident is not because of the actual reaction, but because you give yourself permission to be confident. You see, you're saying to yourself, "Wow, I like that feedback. They like me. Okay, now I can act confident." You see, it's because you have certain rules that you have certain things that have to be in place in order for you to say, you know what, let me be confident. But the truth is that you could actually bypass all of those expectations and be confident, you see, through not judging yourself and becoming more mindful. And that'll allow you to express yourself, right? I know I always go back to the same shit like mindfulness, but it's because it works. All right, I think that's okay. The other one is okay, I'm gonna keep reading from the same point. It says, "Your mind won't let you access the more confident you, because of the internal rules that you have. It's like a virus, like a glitch in a system. It hinders you. This is the inhibition. To do this, you have to let go of the resistance. This allows your personality to shine through. Most people have an identity criterion, social references that tell you whether or not you should act confident. This comes in the form of social standards, like the standards of society. Like if you meet what it is to be attractive, you could feel confident because you meet them. Alliances, if you're around people that you feel comfortable with, your family members, you could act more confident. Competencies, what you're able to offer. If you're a smart person, if you can execute yourself well, if you have a business skill that you're able to offer, you'll feel more confident. And the role plays, like the role that you are you the boss? Are you the older sister? Are you the adult in the family? You're going to feel confident based on the role that you exhibit. You see, but all of those things are situational based. You see, they're all based on feedback. And that's what I want you to stop getting in the habit in, which is looking for feedback to feel confident. All right, and you're gonna stand out as a result of it. All right, the other one is being polarizing. Being polarizing is about having conflicting personality traits. You could be quiet and passive, but at the same time aggressive and determined when it comes to certain things. You see, you don't just play the nice girl. You express your full range of emotion, but not only providing comfort and love, but pain and pleasure. So what I mean by that is getting in touch with the sides of you that you suppress because of society. Getting in touch with the sides of you that you sort of try to minimize in order to keep up the impressions. You see, because we suppress it. Now the problem is that the suppression doesn't come because you're trying to be polite. The suppression comes out of fear of judgment and shame. It's the trance of unworthiness, like like the book Radical Acceptance talks about. So when you become in touch, which is in this case, observing the sides of you that you try to suppress. You know, those negative sides, the negative traits that you don't want people to find out. When you begin to accept it, but not by suppressing it, by trying not to be that, but by observing it and having compassion for this personality trait that you don't want to have, you're going to begin to accept it. And so what's going to happen is that it liberates you. You see, those are toxic energy that causes you to become part of the whole, because everyone's like that. You see, so by simply uninhibiting yourself, and which in this case is observing those sides of you that you try to suppress, that you try to hide, that you're ashamed of, it'll express itself in your personality by liberating yourself, by being more expressive, by being more charismatic. You see, because everyone is naturally more charismatic. It's just most people have been inhibited because of the society that they live in, oppressed, particularly women, you know? So that's how you do it. Okay, number 4, self-amusing versus trying to impress. You see, most people try to impress. Very few people try to have fun, all right? So rather than saying, how can I impress them, ask yourself, how can I make this fun? What can I do right now to have fun? When you begin to ask yourself those kind of questions, the behavior that arises from those kind of questions usually is completely different than from the behavior that arises from, how can I impress them? Like, they are different, you see? So by simply changing the mental dialogue, the mental chatter that you have, by changing the questions that you ask yourself internally, it'll change the way you think, feel, and behave. And thus how you project and protrude your personality. And people are gonna, literally, they're gonna say, oh, she's different, right? Because you're not doing things to impress people, you're just doing it to have fun. You see? So rather than being fun, rather than doing things that are fun, you're gonna be fun, because you're gonna be the expression of that emotion. You see? Like, that's actually something that really works. The asking yourself, what can I do right now? What can I say right now to have fun? That really works. For example, like when women talk to men, like they get out of character. You know, like most women get out of character when they talk to guys that they like. You see, they do this because they find it odd. No, people do this because they're trying to impress people. You see, when you come about it from a place of let me impress you, you usually act out of character. But when you act in from a place of let me have fun, let me self-amuse, you usually act in character, because most of us are self-interested. Most of us are looking for our own pleasures. And so when you look for your own pleasures in life, you usually are yourself. Kind of cynical, but true. The other one, talk and have a flat line and then have spikes. In order to be interesting, you cannot just be interesting, have fucking peaks all the time. No, being interesting is about having those like flat lines and spikes. Like sudden spikes. Like it can even be spike down, it doesn't matter. But it's the spikes, not this. Like not the highs, because having those highs, like being perfect or being always fun, is not fun. You know? Like you wanna be normal, boring, but at the same time have a little bit of edge. Like on both extremes. You see? Because most people just compartmentalize themselves. They just want to show their good side. And that's a problem, right? Number 7, I think so. Okay, pace. Notice your breath as you speak. You see, this one also is a way to stand out. A signal of authority is in the rhythm that people speak. The rhythm. You see, most people who are weak in terms of socially speaking, when they're nervous, they usually speak fast. They usually are like very fast talkers. But most people of authority, they usually speak slower. Like, in studies show that people who speak slower and who speak at their own pace are viewed as authority, are more respected. So noticing your breath as you speak, or noticing any physical sensation as you speak, forces you to slow down. You see, because you're not just in the train of thoughts. You're focusing on the physical sensation, and in order to think, you need to have a space, and that space is what you can use in order to remain calm when you're talking to someone. You see, so by noticing your breath first and then speaking, it allows you to speak with more presence and more grounded energy. You see, and it'll definitely make you stand out. I'm telling you, like, it really does, because it protrudes confidence. Relaxation always equals confidence. All right. Number 8, be congruent. Align your thoughts, words, and action. See, congruence is about this. Congruence is trying to be happy when inside you're sad. You see, like because most people, when they're incongruent, that means they're trying to act out something that they're not. You see, now the problem is that a lot of people, they don't like what they are, like who they are. They don't like it. So as a result, they'll try to force their personalities. They'll try to force and express something that's not really there. Now, as a result, there's a miscontinuity from what's inside to what's being expressed, and that miscontinuity is received as something that's not right, like weird or off or try hard. You see, so what you have to do then is to literally, whatever's inside of you, as lame as it is, and as weird as it is, you have to put it out there. You see, so that means if you're nerdy and all that sort of stuff, you got to put it out there, right? Because if you hide it, then it's going to be expressed, but from a place of shame. You see, but whatever you embrace, it doesn't matter. But as long as you embrace it, people can accept it. It's just how things are. People are just gonna accept it. But you gotta be the first one to embrace it, because if you don't embrace it, what tends to happen is that people who are used to judging people, you're gonna feel that judgment. You see, so as a result, you're gonna judge yourself, and then you're going to once again compartmentalize yourself, and that's where the self-loathing and the judgment and the shame arises from. You see, and that usually starts with you not embracing those parts of you that you deemed as uncool or lame per se. Right? So it's for example, like when I tell guys this, like when guys approach girls, right? Most of the time they're pretty scared, right? And because they're pretty scared, they'll usually approach them and try to act confident, right? The problem is that because they're approaching scared, but they're trying to show something that's not really there, it looks weird. Like it looks creepy. You know, they're like, hey there, right? But it's kind of like, okay, I know you're not confident, but it looks like you're trying to act confident. What's even better is to actually approach feeling how you feel, right? And embracing how you feel. Because even though you may come across nervous, by simply embracing the nervousness, it makes you congruent and more trustworthy. You see, and even better, it makes you even more relatable. And a lot of guys get surprised that people like them more when they do that. What could be seen as a weakness turns into strength if you embrace it. You see, and that's how you could do it with yourself. When you feel weird, embrace that weirdness and relax in the midst of weirdness. All right. Number 7. Now we're gonna start off. Now we're gonna talk about the verbal things you could say. Okay. Use verbal push pull. Okay. So talk to the guy as though you're talking to your little brother, like you were trying to poke fun at him and have fun with him. You see, that's how your interaction should be. So rather than talking to a guy that you find awesome and that he's so perfect and majestic, right? Feel as though you're talking to your little brother. Now, let me make sure. Okay. Now, why is that important? Because when you act as though you're talking to your little brother, you're going to be more self-amused, you see? You're going to be able to actually express yourself. You're going to feel no pressure. You're not going to be thinking, oh, this could be my boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? And so you're going to actually be yourself. Because when you're talking to like a family member, like a little kid, little brother, little sister, you're more fun. You're more happier. You're more yourself. You see? So when you do that, you can actually be yourself. You'll do things out of self-amusement, not because you're trying to impress them, but because you're expressing yourself. You see? All right, that's how you do it. So, number 8, qualification. Okay, this is actually pretty good qualification. All right, qualification. For example, it's saying qualification is, rather than letting them know that you like them, you try to let them know that you like them because they worked for it. You see, and so this is how it's done, right? You first ask a question, right? Qualifying question, and then you answer it, right? For example, like the first question, it's like saying, let me see, like saying, you seem like a cool person. You see, it looks like you seem like a cool person. We would definitely have fun, but I don't think this could work out. You know, kind of like saying, oh, you are awesome. This could work out, but I don't know if it could. You know, kind of like saying, I accept you, you're good, but I don't think this could work out. You see, doing it in a playful way. It's not like you're doing it like trying to be a fucking asshole. Like that's not what you're doing. But it's more about you're screening them. For example, like saying no, you seem like a pretty good person. You seem pretty intelligent. But let me ask you this: what kind of books you like to read? Like you're saying, oh, you want me over? You're awesome. Damn, you really are the great person. And then asking them a question about something that they don't do. You see, for example, like if you're an athletic girl, right, and you play basketball, and you know that the guy doesn't play basketball, right? That's just assuming. You say, "Oh man, such an awesome guy. You really look like the perfect guy." But let me ask you this: do you play basketball? And you just wait there, right? Because the person's gonna feel qualified. He's gonna feel accepted. But then when you ask him that question, the person feels like they don't meet those standards. You see what I'm saying? And from my experience, when you do that, that causes people to find other things about them that's impressive. You see, it makes people invest more, and it's kind of it's a little funny when you see it happen, how effective it is. Let me see, what's the other one? Number 9. This one's no, number 11. This is funny. Misinterpretations. This is hilarious. Misinterpretations are hilarious because it works because it's funny and a very easy way to fuck with people. For example, like if a guy asks your name, like saying, "Hey girl, what's your name?" Right? A misinterpretation could be, "Whoa, relax, kid, man, I have a boyfriend." Like kidding around, like, "Oh, damn, girl, damn, you asking my name already? I have a boyfriend." You kidding around. You're not fucking being out. You're not really being serious, right? But the whole point is that the guy's like, "Oh, okay." And you're like, then you just, I'm just kidding. Anyways, my name is Melissa. You by simply from the introduction, right, misinterpreting what he's saying just to fuck with him. It does kind of like saying, "Oh, damn, I didn't expect that." Like the unexpectedness, a good surprise. You know what I'm saying? For example, if he asks you, "Where are you from?" you respond with, "Oh, whoa there, buddy, you're coming on too strong." Like you're obviously misinterpreting what he's saying, like and accusing him of coming on too strong in a playful way, and that makes them defend themselves, and then it gets them reactive. You see, and when you get them reactive, that means you got them. I mean, any emotional reactions from your actions is a good thing. You see. And again, it has to be done in a playful way, you see, because if you don't do it in a playful way, then it's going to be misinterpreted wrong, right? Like intention matters when you do stuff, right? Another one is poke fun at him to bring out his personality. Most people are pretty tense, you see. Most people are pretty guarded when they walk around, and most people don't expect others to be playful. You see what I'm saying? Most people's youthful vibe and youthful identity was taken out when they were growing up because they were like, "Stop acting like a little kid," So when you poke fun at people, that playfulness allows them to be themselves. That playfulness allows them to get in touch with who they really are. You see, and it has like a very regressive effect on people because you feel like a child when you kind of like verbally bantering others. So when you do that, it allows people to actually be themselves around you. You see, and it's very unique because most people walk around guarded and afraid. And when you are able to provide that experience by you first becoming uninhibited and being playful and taking the risk of poking fun at him and making fun of him just to play around, it really is liberating for people, and that will definitely help you stand out. Number 13, silence. This one's crazy. The silence one. This one could be used at any moment in time. For example, like if someone says, I don't know, if you ask someone, "So where you from?" and they may say, "Oh, I'm from California," and then you don't say nothing like, "California? Yeah, I'm from California. What's something wrong with that?" Like it gets people reacting. You see, and if you're creative with it, do it just to fuck with people, and you'll see how easy it is. You see, and I like doing this especially in the beginning of the interactions, because it's an easy way and a very effortless way to get people on the reactive side and get people reacting without you doing much and without you exerting a lot of effort. Right. Number 14, slight, have facial expressions after things that they say. For example, facial feedback. For example, like if the guy says, yeah, man, like I'm in college right now, and studying to be a doctor, rather than looking at him like, once in a while, just like give him like that. I don't believe he feels like let him keep talking, right? But just be like, right, as you're listening, it'll trip him up mentally. It's like, what the fuck? I'm not lying, right? And because it's a non-verbal reaction, again, it doesn't require a lot of effort, but it gets a lot of reactions. You see, when people are reacting to the little things that you do, you have them. So that's a good thing. It's very easy. So number 15, I think so, right? Yeah, number 15. Slight interruptions. Slight interruptions. For example, like when someone's talking, right? And he may be like, yeah, I have a nice car, I have a 3.5 GPA in college. As you're listening, you're like, oh, you're special. Like, oh, you're special. Like, it's just slight interruptions, and again, it has to be playful. Like, you're not just being a fucking dickhead. Like the intentions behind your actions, what really matters. So, as they're talking about something that they're proud of, slightly interrupting, like saying, oh, you're special, stop showing off, right? Just kidding around. It makes them like, oh man, I'm not kidding. I'm just, just talking, right? And you're like, no, I'm just kidding with you. I'm just fucking with you. Like, it gives you that playful vibe, and it's a good thing to do. Okay, so another one is act like he let you down. Okay, so act like you're amazed by him and how awesome he is, right? And then ask him a question that he won't be able to live up to. That's kind of like what I said earlier. Like saying, oh wow, you're so awesome and beautiful. But wait, do you watch basketball? You see, like putting him in a position that he cannot win. You see, and because of the feeling that you get of, wow, I didn't meet that standard, it makes people want to regain that validation and regain the rapport. You see, it's one of those things that you don't understand until you try it. You see, and it's kind of sad how easy we are as humans to be manipulated, because this works on me too. So it's not like I'm immune to this. Another one is mix up the way you speak. This one's good. This was actually very useful and very simple. So there are 3 ways to speak: challenging, commanding, and value. Okay, so challenging is talking like, for example, it's kind of like saying, let me see, like kind of like questioning someone's intentions, kind of like saying, where you from? Like saying, like, where you from? Like, are you really from there? Are you sure about that? Like, you're challenging them, like, are you sure about that? Where you from? Like, that's a challenging tone. A command tone is, where you from? Like, where you from? That's a command tone. Where you from? Like, you're telling them to tell you where you're from. And a value, like playful tone is, so where you from? Like, that's, so where you from? All right. So then you mix those 3 up. So you could be like, you could add the challenging tone and the commanding tone and the playful tone all in one sentence. For example, like saying, so where you from? So like for example, I say, so where you from? Oh, I'm from California. Oh, okay, for real. I didn't know that. That's what's up, though. I like California. For real, yeah. California's dope. California's dope. So what are you doing around here? No, I'm just here just hanging out with my friends. Oh, for real. So this is what you gotta do. Go to the supermarket downtown. It's fucking amazing. For real, yeah, it's amazing. You ever been there? Get out of here. You ever been there? Nah, man. For real, nah. Like you're sort of like, how can I say this? You're speaking commanding, right? Then you're speaking playfully, right? And then you're speaking like you're challenging them, like saying, "Are you really from there?" And then you're saying, "Tell me this." And then you're saying, "Oh, you're awesome. That's what's up, dude." Like, you're adding value, you're fucking with them, and you're telling them what to do. You see, and so when you mix those three tones up in the interaction, it kind of like gives you different. It gives you a different it gives your personality a different perspective, like a different more range, because most people speak in one tone. You know, hey, how are you? Awesome, awesome to see you. Like one tone. You see what I'm saying? You mix up the three. Hey, it's so awesome to see you. What you do today? Oh, for real? I don't believe you. For real? Like, you know, like you don't just have like one nice person. Like you just have different ways of speaking. Right? Um, Another one is you don't have to answer all of his questions. Like intentionally not answering his questions sometimes. For example, if he says, "So where are you from?" and you're like, "Yo, I just read the best book yesterday. Have you read have you read Childer's Web?" And like you intentionally do it on purpose to see his reaction. You see, and when you do it on purpose and you know you fuck with him, he's gonna sense it, right? And that's a way to stand out. Another one is call him a liar from time to time. I do this a lot. For example, like when you're talking to someone and they're like, "Oh yeah, I had a 3.5 GPA in college." Get out of here, liar! I don't believe you. Nah, I don't believe you. And because when you say that, it makes people like, no, seriously, seriously. Like when you tell people a liar, it makes people, how can I say this? Qualify themselves. You see, to tell you why they're not a liar, right? And that's more, and that's when people invest more. That means they're chasing after your validation. It's a very simple thing to do. And the last one is if he asks you what do you do, respond with, for example, you know those normal questions that people tell you. So what do you do, or where are you from, right? If you want to send out a way for you to respond to him is kind of like saying, for real, come on, don't ask me boring questions. Ask me a better one. Like, for example, like, what's your passion? You see, so weak question, you tell them, oh, fuck that, that was a weak. Let me ask you a real question. Then you ask me a real one. What's your passion? You see, that's a good way to take command of the conversation, but at the same time remaining passive. You see, but at the same time remaining your femininity, like where you're not too controlling, but at the same time you make hints and suggestions that he should be smart enough to take. You know, and yeah, these are 21 things to do. Very simple, like very fucking simple. See, the issue is that there's a lot of information. So what you have to do then is to pick one and actually focus on one and practice it and get social feedback on one tactic. You see, and then move on to the next, because what people tend to happen is that they become informational junkies, where they only consume information and they don't apply. All right, so this is how you do it. Anyways, this is it. Alex from Mindful Attraction 2.0. If you need one-on-one coaching, go to mindfulattraction.org/coaching the pocket. Goodbye.